Hello.
Good evening,
Hello,
ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, good evening. Give me a minute. I think last time we had stopped at 7 P's, isn't it? We finished classification of services, isn't it? Hello, Prasad. Hello. Prasad, am I audible? Hello.
Bit of voice is breaking, ma'am.
Now. Hello, Prasad. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello.
Ma'am, still your voice is breaking.
Okay, just a minute. Now, whether it's okay? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Clear now.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, I think now it's clear. Okay, now we will go to the next point, that is marketing mix for services. In the previous semester, we had 4 of product, price, place, and promotion. Okay. These were the traditional mixes which were given by McCarthy. Okay. Now, in the year 1981, Wittner and Booms, they introduced the
Ma'am, still your voice is breaking.
See now whether it's audible. Hello.
But it's
Not
breaking
proper.
in middle, ma'am.
In middle.
Ma'am, it's
Okay, whether
fluctuating.
Ma'am, talk little slowly, ma'am.
okay. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Continue.
ma'am.
Okay. So they gave the 3 P's of services marketing. These are also known as extended P's of marketing: people, process, and physical evidence. Now let's see one by one. What are these? Now the first one is product, as we had for the goods. Okay, similarly we have for services also. Now in case of product, the things became much more simple and easy because of its tangibility or tangible attribute. But in case of services, intangibility poses a major challenge wherein you cannot touch, you cannot feel the service. So here, when you think of service package, service provider thinks of linking these services with some tangible attribute. Now here, it depends upon the type of services rendered. Now in case of restaurant, for example, here you have a 50% mix of tangibility. That is, you have the decor, you have the building, okay, wherein you can attach some tangible things to that service. But if you take the other extreme, like consultancy services, okay, in this case it becomes very difficult to attach a tangible attribute to this service, or advisory services, medical services. Okay, for this it is a big challenge to tangibilize it. Here word of mouth of publicity will only work in this case. Now let's see what are the different attributes which goes into the services. This product for the service is also known as the service package. Now the first and foremost option is the design, that is the package of service. What do you mean by the package of service? What all benefits or facilities you include in that particular service? That is known as the designing of the service package. Now, because of the competition in today's era, more and more service providers are thinking of differentiating attributes to be included in the package of service. This is applicable to all the service sectors. Mostly the services like you can say tourism, the hotel industry, even the medical services for that matter. The next very important is quality. Now, in case of goods or products, as we know, it becomes very much easy to define this quality. But in case of services, it becomes much more difficult because quality is somewhere attached to satisfaction of the customer. Unless and until you render a service, you won't be able to comment about the quality of the service provided. Next is the features or the benefits or facilities. Now here it's like you have the shape of the product, you have the color of the product, you have the feel of the product, which is possible in products. In case of services, the benefits or the facilities provided by the service provider are the features of the service package. So for a service provider, while thinking of strategies, he has to think from the customer perspective or customer point of view, that when I offer a particular service, what benefits the customers will get, whether they will be satisfied, and what all extra benefits he would be seeking, or whether as a service provider I am fulfilling his expectations. So what are the facilities you would be a service provider? Now, next part is options. Now these options are not available for
Hello.
all type of categories of hello.
Ma'am, voice
Hello.
break होता है. Hello.
हॅलो, ऐकू येते का प्रसाद? हॅलो हॅलो.
Yes, ma'am.
आधीमध्ये ब्रेक होते voice.
Okay. So here I was speaking of customization of services. Now here customization depends upon the type of service, whether you can customize or not. Some of the services are standardized, like electricity services. You cannot think of customization. Water supply services, you cannot think of customization. But in case of hotel industry, you can think of customization. You can, in case of insurance, you can think of customization. In case of banking, you can think of customization to a few extent. So here it depends upon the type of service, the customization of service and the extent. Next is the packaging. Now, in case of products, packaging means how the product looks, how you cover the product beautifully so that the customer gets attracted. Now here in case of packaging itself includes the benefits. That is, what benefits or facilities you are providing to the customer to attract the customer. That is what is the packaging of the service. What is the service mix? That is the width and depth of the services is a part of service packaging. The next is market positioning. Now here in case of goods, this market positioning becomes much more simpler and easier. While because of the nature of the services of intangibility, inseparability, the market positioning becomes more challenging, we can say. It's not possible, we cannot say that it's not totally possible, but it becomes challenging for the service provider. So these were some of the attributes as far as the product or the service is considered. Now, any doubts over here in this point? Hello?
Hello. Yeah, ma'am. I did not understand market positioning.
You did not understand market positioning. See, when you, if you take any product category, okay, like an electronic goods, you understand the target segment and how to position the product. But in case of services, it becomes much more difficult or challenging, you can say. You cannot say difficult, but it's challenging to position the services. Here you have to give a thought to position a service. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
That is what I meant. Now,
Okay.
next is the level of the products. Now here we had seen the same thing for the product category or the goods. The same is applicable to the services. The core or the basic benefit which you derive from the service, the generic service, expected service, augmented service, and the potential service. For example, if you take a, maybe if you are traveling, okay, if you are traveling somewhere and at night it becomes a generic need that maybe you need the shelter. That is a basic core need. You want to stay for a single night somewhere because you did not know, you were just traveling, you did not know what was the time, and now you need to take shelter somewhere. That's why you enter a hotel, you just inquire that you want to stay for just a single night. Okay, so this core benefit of rest or shelter is transferred into maybe a room service. You need a room to stay there in a hotel. So what is expected in this case by a customer? The basic needs should be satisfied. Maybe you need a sound sleep, that's why you need a bed with the minimum expectations or simple expectations. That is what is the expected level. Now when you take this augmented service, okay, in case of augmented service, you cannot think emergency need. Or just now I gave an example that will not work in case of augmented service. Augmented service, maybe you plan a tour or a trip, okay, and you book a room in a hotel. Maybe you're visiting some place with your family, vacations. Then you expected augmented service. You look out for the rooms, okay. So when you think of these vacations, what do you look for usually as a customer? Many of you might have visited different places. What all we look for? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. We all there.
You all are there. I'm asking you some question.
Can you please repeat, ma'am?
See, I'm asking you, suppose if you plan a travel, okay, it's a vacation time. You want to visit a place. If you want to book a hotel, you want to stay there for some days, maybe 2-3 days. Okay, you go for sightseeing. What all you will look for? Hello?
Ma'am,
Yeah,
we
ma'am.
see for location, ma'am, first.
Yeah, you will
It's
look for local.
yeah. Then see for the budget, ma'am, if it fits in the budget. Then also look for
Listen.
cleanliness.
Yeah. Now you come to the point.
Yeah, ma'am.
See,
Cleanly, we'll
the
see the service and cleanliness of the hotel and rating
आपको
if
सर
possible on internet.
आपको सर्विस चलेगा क्या पहले ही?
Ma'am, we'll check the reviews first.
Yeah, you will check the reviews. तो reviews में आप क्या देखोगे? उसके photos देखोगे. Isn't it now because of technology? आप photos देखोगे So what they are doing here, they are again, yeah, they are tangibilizing this product, which is intangible, isn't it? Through the means of these tangible things like building, like rooms. They will show you the decor in the room, isn't it? So you expect maybe a bed, a good bedding, cleanliness, the decor, beautiful decor. Maybe you need a television, isn't it? This is all comes into the augmented service, which is more than what is expectation. Is what we need a shelter, we need a cleanliness, we need a bed. Okay, fine. Augmented maybe something extra. If suppose the in the morning, every morning a person comes
Breakfast.
home. Hello.
Yeah, ma'am. Breakfast you get, ma'am. Complimentary.
Yeah. Suppose you get a, yeah. So what is augmented, isn't it? Maybe you get a pick and drop facility. So what is potential is something more than what. Now the scope of potential has increased much more because of the competitions in between these service providers. Usually the differentiation takes place at the augmented service level. They can differentiate at this point. Potential is you in the next maybe down the line. What is new? Maybe you have a Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi, even that is possible. So this is about the levels of services. Now we go to the next point, that is price. Now many of you buy products, isn't it? How many of you look out for price? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Why do you
everyone
look
look.
out?
Mostly
Yeah,
70% of Indians, ma'am, first relate with the price.
yeah, but why do you feel that they have a price? Why do they have a look at the price?
Ma'am, because they should know is it worth it or no. That's the reason.
Means exactly what you are, what the customer might be doing when he is looking at the price and thinking something.
It should be
Money,
money value.
Yeah, money value. So what actually we compare is, we compare the benefit, okay, whatever we are paying and the benefit we are getting for the particular purchase of that good, isn't it? So here, what a person is doing, he's comparing in between the uh, money, whatever he's lending, and the benefit he's deriving from the goods. So same is applicable for the services also. That is what is the what offer is being given by the service provider, and in return what facilities the customer is getting. So higher price is associated with better quality. Applicable for the product also. Good quality product always, mostly we say that it is highly priced. So similarly here also, higher price is associated with the good quality. Now here, um, drinking a cup of tea on a tapri, okay, drinking a cup of tea in a medium hotel or a Udupi hotel, and a drinking a cup of tea in Taj, doesn't it matter? Tea, the product is the same, isn't it? So what matters here?
Service.
Hello, service. Is it the service? Service means exactly what do you want to say?
Ma'am, service is there. Hygienic is there.
Yeah. So here, see, tangibilizing that service becomes much more important.
The ambience and aura of the place.
The ambience of the place. So here, even experience does matter, isn't it? The cleanliness, the ambience. Again, the status symbol plays a very important role here. Respect quality. Now, the next is the pricing of service is very different from pricing of goods for various reasons. it becomes very easy to quantify in case of goods. Okay, there you can demonstrate the products. You give a sample to the customers, but here it's not possible in case of services. Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Suppose if you, I had given you an example of sweet mart. Okay, here you can, a customer can just take a piece of a sweet to taste and then decide whether to purchase or not. But in case of services, you cannot say a transporter that just I will have a ride and decide whether to move ahead. This is not possible. Or it's not possible in case of restaurant that मैं बैठ के taste करता हूँ थोड़ा plate and then I will think of ordering. This is not possible, isn't it? So that way we say here the pricing is very different for services. The price of the same service can be changed depending on the demand for service. Now here you can take an example of booking for travels. Maybe if you just book a ticket, air ticket, 2-3 months ahead, you get some discounts. And maybe on time, if you think of booking the tickets, so here the prices they go up. Whether you experience this. Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
See what is happening. I don't know whether I'm audible or not. That's why I'm asking you the questions. Maybe you might have also
Yes, ma'am.
experienced the same.
Ma'am,
You might have,
audible, ma'am.
yeah, yeah. So maybe you might have experienced this thing. Okay, when you're booking for the tickets, as far as the travel is considered. Here, the fluctuating demand for seasonal products is different. Seasonal services might be different. Okay, I'm not speaking of seasonal here. Here, as time is important, as the time moves ahead, coming closer, there is the increase in the price. That is what I meant by this statement. Now here, in case of services, customer pays for time. Do we pay for time here? When I give you an example of transport, maybe air travel 2 months before I'm booking, and maybe I'm booking a day before. Yes, I'm paying for the time. Are we paying for the skills of the particular person? Yes. You visit a specialist doctors. You visit a dress designer. You are paying for the specialty skills the person is having. We also pay for experience and entertainment. We go to watch a movie. When we are watching a movie, actually we are paying for entertainment. We go for 3 hours and we come back. We don't say that just the theater is ours, isn't it? Or if you go for the music concert, that is an experience. You want to listen to the music of the particular, you want to listen to a song. So you pay for this. You pay for advice. Do you pay for advice? Yes. Consultant services,
Yes,
legal
ma'am.
Yes,
advices.
ma'am.
All, yes, we pay for these things. Pay for benefits we are deriving. Maybe travel, tourism. We are all, we are getting the benefits and that's why we are paying. Now, price terms, maybe you can use, you cannot say directly price for some of this like fees. Doctors, consulting charges, we pay the fees. If you are paying for insurance, I have given you a few examples here. You pay the premium, commissions, isn't it? We pay the commissions for the intermediaries. We pay the electricity bills and etc. So here, the referral name for price changes according to the services which we are rendering. Now if you go to the next part, that is place. Place refers to the ease in accessing the services. That means how you reach the customers, how you provide them the service. That is what it means. The inseparability of service attributes again plays a vital role as far as the place is considered, because most of the time the service provider and the service seeker, they are not separable. Many a times the service cannot be performed or service cannot take place unless both of these are together. They work together. So ultimate here, the aim is to reach to the end customers. Now here the physical appearance and ambience also plays a very important role as far as this place is considered. I gave you an example of a hotel where physical appearance and ambience plays a very important role. Similarly, all the hospitality sectors come into this category. The educational institutes come into this category. So this was about the place. Now moving on to the promotional factors. In case of promotion, we have seen promotion for the goods. Now here again on the same lines, promotion for the services. Now when you promote a service, again you can go for advertising. These are the promotional mix available for a service provider, like advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, direct marketing, and publicity. In case of advertising the services, here again you focus on facilities or the benefits which the customer is getting. In case of personal selling, it becomes much more easier because the person explains you, he reaches you. But every time for all the services, it is not possible. So here the service render should think about the proper mix of this promotion mix strategy. When to go for personal selling, when to go for advertising, for which product, which of these tools is applicable should be marked by the service provider. Whether sales promotions will work, how sales promotion will benefit in increasing the segmentation or to reach the end segment. Publicity is one of the very important factor as far as the services is considered, especially for corporates. Now this, up till this 4 P's, these were the traditional mix. We had already studied the goods. Now we move on to the extended piece of service marketing. Now, because of the characteristics of the services of intangibility, perishability, variability, and simultaneous consumption and production of the services, these 3 P's come into the picture. But the first and foremost is the people. People include the personnel who are directly or indirectly involved in selling of services. That is customers. Every now and then when customer thinks of rendering the services, they somehow come in contact with the employees. The employees reflect the face of the organization. That's why the behavior of the employees do matter a lot for the organization. They translate the quality into a service. So it depends upon the employees of that service, what extent they provide the service, how they maintain the quality of the service. So that's why we say ultimately that it was a good quality service given by the organization or the service provider. They are the service providers on account of their occupation or entrepreneurs. These people who are rendering the service on behalf of the organization, they actually are doing this for the sake of the position which they occupy in the organization. Delivery of service often occurs during an interaction between a customer and contact employees. The attitude and behavior of an employee creates a perception of the service as experienced by the customer. That is what is customer perception. The better the service provided by that employee, the better would be the perception of the customer towards that organizations or the service provider. Ultimately, this customer perception will result or influence the customer satisfaction. And this customer satisfaction will move ahead towards the word of mouth publicity for the organization. That is what is about the people. The next is evidence. Physical evidence refers to an environment in which a service comes about from an interaction between an employee and a customer, which is combined with a tangible commodity. So here between the employee and or the service provider and the customer is a physical evidence or a tangible product, tangible commodity. A good example is a hotel, as just now I gave the design, the furnishing, the lighting, the decor, the appearance. All these are tangible things or tangible attributes which are attached. As services are intangible, customers are continually looking for clues to find the nature and quality of service. They will always mingle whether they have some clue. Now, credit cards are the physical representation for the credit facilities offered. Now, physical evidence or physical environment also is a visual metaphor of what company represents the facilities which are rendered to the customers. Here also, the mantra is again the same. The satisfied customers will again bring the best publicity about the organization. Now the last one is the process. It represents the activities, procedures, protocols, and delivery in the service. This is one of the essential elements of marketing mix as far as the services are considered. Services are made up of chain of activities. So one needs to take the waiting time into consideration. You might have experienced this also, that waiting time is very important factor in case of many of the services. For example, you can take the medical services. Though you have taken the appointment with the doctor, still you have to wait for a longer time to meet the doctor. Creating and managing effective service processes are for the existence of service companies. So here, managing this service effectiveness through facilitating the process for customers again becomes very much challenging for the service providers. Now, as far as this waiting time is considered, many of them, they use the OR methods, operation research methods. Today, because of technology, this thing has minimized. We have the online banking. Imagine previously, before online banking, what was the scene? Even today, if you visit SBI Bank, you will find that when you enter, you will have to take a challan. The number is there on the challan. Okay. And you understand your waiting time. Whether anybody of you have experienced this? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So today, because of online banking, much more things are facilitated. That is what is waiting time. In many of the services, waiting time is there, which has to be considered. It is a part of the process. Now here, I think only 1 minute has left. Any doubts? Hello? Can you think
Yes,
of
ma'am.
any Can you think of any examples of services where process is a hindrance?
Ola.
Yes. Ola. Process is a hindrance, I'm asking. That is, it's not quick, it's not easy. Which is not easy. In today's world, I am speaking.
Zoom meeting.
Zoom meeting, it's not easy.
Teaching online, ma'am, is not easy.
Ma'am, applying for government job.
Applying for government job. Okay. Apart from that, well, process.